All right, back. Can you hear me? Yes. Cool. All right. Okay. I realized the cable I was using wasn't working that well, which is great. It should be okay now. So that's why I took a bit of extra time. Sorry. Another thing I need to check while we're here, because there's another little issue that I discovered. It wasn't recognizing on my computer, which is annoying because normally it works straight away. So I wonder if something else. System assign mono chord poly. So yeah, let's just see how we go. So I'm just gonna close this. Oh, let me share my screen. If it doesn't work, well, at least we tried. Because unfortunately, I don't know if I have the audio cables. Oh, I do. Okay, we do have a backup, thankfully. I just wasn't thinking clearly. Okay. So we can go back to scenario one of recording this the old school way. I was just hoping we could have recorded this the new school way, but either way we're going to get sound. So I'm going to go back to preferences. Oh wait, you can't see my screen. There we go. All right, cool. We're recording again, aren't we? Yep, good. All right, audio input. So unfortunately, it doesn't show up as an input, which is super annoying to me. Maybe an issue with getting something I forgot to get, maybe, but either way, I'm gonna endeavor and try it. So we're gonna do the new school way. So within Ableton, you may have noticed there's things like external audio effect and external, where's that one? External instrument. So that already should clue you in that there's this capability of talking to the outside world. You can use external effects if you're using guitar pedals. So yeah, if you have effects pedals and you run and you have an interface that has a spare output and an input, you can send audio out and back in. So you can send audio out from Ableton for a send or something like that. So what I mean by that is you can go external audio effect here, set the audio output to whatever number is on your interface, 3, 4 for me, and audio input from the interface input, wherever the numbers are. And if you put on a send, you can leave on full wet, and you can have your guitar pedal as the reverb send. It's a cool technique. Depends on your pedal though, because some pedals obviously is for instrument level only, so guitar inputs, which is annoying, but that's why there's such thing as reamping pedals to put before the effect pedal. But that's not today's focus. We're doing external instrument. So that's why I have a MIDI track here. I'm going to put external instrument on this track. And still annoyingly, I don't see. So we can use pedals directly. Ableton. Yes, depending on the pedals. So if you want to know if that can happen, let me know what pedals you got, and I'll tell you which ones you can use with Ableton. All right. Do I have MIDI cables? Oh, there's one lying on the floor. Hang on, hang on. Because I'm determined to get this happening, new school way or old school way. I found out the new school way doesn't work, and whether it's through various problems of using computers, whatever, that can always happen. That's why I always trust the old audio cable and MIDI cable. So I'm gonna get MIDI in. I'll just get at least one thing happening, because you'll find this quite cool. So MIDI in from the Roland, going into the MIDI out of my interface. Okay, great. So here we go. I'm going to do this the old school way, the traditional way. M4, audio input, audio interface is already, Ableton already sees my MIDI inputs, right? I'm already getting signal, thank God. And I'm still using this external instrument tool. Let me zoom in a bit more. And I realize the theme isn't great. So let me go to this, zoom in. All right. MIDI 2, I want M4 because I'm using my audio interface as the MIDI output. Audio from, I'm using audio inputs 1 and 2. And if you can hear in clear detail this horrible noise. And that's the problem with this Roland Boutique series. To me, I don't care. I think that adds charm to it, but there it is in full display. Now, I have it on a MIDI track because I want to either do this, and play it with my keyboard. What's my latency? It's probably a bit hectic. Oh no, it's not too bad. 22. It's a fair bit. Let's go down. All right. So I'm gonna tune the synth. So I'm playing my MIDI controller keyboard. So Jackson, just think of your Keylab, that's what I'm triggering. But I'm actually triggering a hardware synth. That's cool already, but what we can also do is just send straight MIDI information into that. So I can go, what do we got here? We've got house tracks. No, let's go to trance. What am I thinking? Dead mouse. This should work. That wasn't what I was thinking, but that's okay. Let's slow this down. 128. Expand this. And this probably has forcing it to go to a certain preset. I don't want it to. So we're treating this like a plugin, but we're using hardware, right? And what's cool is that I can run the hardware through my effects as well. nice integration that Ableton allows, this external instrument. And yeah, basically your first problem to overcome is how to connect it to Ableton. My first problem was I was hoping to show you the, oh, you didn't hear anything. My bad. Let's hear this properly. Sorry, people. I really don't perform well when I get 5 hours of sleep. Sleep has been horrible lately. Sorry. Here we go. Boom. Everyone jump on that in the chat. Listen to link. Got one, couple more to come. So you can't hear the noise that I was talking about, but you can now. This is the noise from the USB. Right, I can even turn it up for you. Right here. It's horrible. Right, it's quite obvious, isn't it? It's quite a lot of dBs as well. So that, as soon as you can hear it now, you can hear the noise coming through. That's from the USB. But here's the actual. Heard that okay? That's the sound of the instrument here. So it's kind of nice that you can kind of keep this plug-in workflow. I'm going to bypass that because that USB noise is killing me. But it's kind of nice to know that you can just treat it like a plug-in, really, as long as everything is connected properly. And then, unlike a plug-in, I have the ability to just, while you're hearing that, let's turn back on, I was doing this. Yeah, I mean, sure, it is useful in that regard, but it's still, it's unpleasant when you're trying to do certain things. So, where did the mirror magnet go? Mirror, there you go. Just so you can see how the sound was changing. I just did my principles, which is filter cutoff, oscillators, envelopes. And let me see if I can change this to landscape. Appearance, landscape. Yeah. I might pull that. Okay, that's cool. All right. Yep. All right. So let's see if we can do this. Push this down a bit. Can I reverse it? Don't see flip video. Oh. Oh no, it was right before. Okay. Okay, and I don't want too much blur. That's really unnecessary. There we go. Okay. So let's just look down here and look what I'm tweaking, yeah? I'll just listen to this patch. By the way, it's very hard to do this back to front because I'm kind of like looking at the camera and going, where's my finger? It's very odd for me. Anyway, excuses. So I'm doing the oscillators. Pulse width. This is what pulse width does. Turn the sub oscillator off. No sound. Sub oscillator. Oh, square pulse on it. And remember, I like to modulate pulse width. So this guy, I want him to move by himself. So I'm using this LFO. Sawtooth in. Sub oscillator for bass. Of course, filter. But if I taught you anything, is I'd rather do it with the envelope. So envelope sections here, there's only one envelope. This is a classic pluck shape, nice and percussive. So no sustain being the key here. And then I want the filter to start at a certain point. I want it to kind of be just lower than halfway. This is so hard to do. There we go. But now I do the filter opening and closing using the envelope. Maybe I'll do it all backwards. So what I stress is playing with envelopes and LFOs to add movement and life to the sound. This instrument only has one LFO down here. Only has one LFO here. So unfortunately, there's very limited things I can do. But if you heard the sound going, it's because there's a mod here. So if I didn't have that, the LFO wouldn't go to this filter. The LFO is only going to the pulse width control. That's what I was doing before, right? Gotta love this blurriness. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the whooshy sound. Just envelope. It is Dead Mouse. It's I think the song is Not Exactly. Just took the MIDI from there. Yeah, get the point. These are things again. Those things I was playing, the envelope times, the attack, decay, sustain, release. Those are things you can automate in a track. Filters you can automate, you can modulate. But you can see why modulation is important, as well as being aware of what you can automate is also important. Yeah? But yeah, do we have any questions about that? Let me turn this noise off. Orgy, yeah. No fun just pressing play and stop. Yeah. No, because you know it is what it is. But what I can do is the next step. So what I like doing, and I've mentioned this a few times, but it's good to actually do it here, is I like to also capture as much detail as possible. So currently I'm setting MIDI, but I would actually love it if I have the audio as well. There's two ways of doing this. So I can set up another audio track. Because I plug this in the old school way, I can just literally hit record and record the audio as well, provided this is on. Let's record it. You can record it live, so you can perform it. So I'll show you. Let's set up a starting point. Here we go. Let me loop this a few times too, otherwise it's too short. I only need 4 times, that's too much. Okay, let's record. Start from a point here. So I can record all that. That's lasers, yeah. It's just slow attack, high resonance, because these filters are, you know, they have a character to them. So that's something I mentioned once. But here's the thing. Let's listen to this. It didn't capture the effects, did it? It's just capturing the synth, because the effects were just returns. They're on the monitoring side of the audio. So to actually get the same result, I need to put the effects that I had in the monitoring chain in the recorded signal as well. Right? And it sounds cool and all, but look, it's just pure audio, right? Did it record the performance of the MIDI? No, it didn't. I can't. It's just not possible. It is possible with some hardware if the device labels that it has assignable CC. So in other words, what that means is I can send MIDI controlled data from Ableton into the instrument, but I can't on this Roland Boutique. On the Electrons you can, Roland Boutique, some you can, Korgs you can, some of them, like it's something, again, another thing you got to read the manual about assignable CCs, control changes. So if it doesn't have it, then you can't record that automation performance you did, but at least you can get the audio. And look, this, I like this. This is commitment. It is what it is. If it sucks, I just record it again and hope for the best, right? Just like the old days, yeah? And of course, what that also means is you can always take this and repurpose it by dropping it into Simpler, right? And I got this slice situation here, which means I can just kind of play this again in a different way. So, yeah. Now, started with FL. Yeah, FL for the first half of my career. But yeah, Ableton's just so cool that I think, yeah, I made the switch 2014. 2014 is when I did it, and it's because of Ableton's audio manipulation. I thought that was really well handled. The external stuff, because I was very hardware based then, the external stuff was way easy to set up within Ableton. So this has been in Ableton for ages. And yeah, it's just Ableton only from now on. But yeah, so just this beautiful ability to quickly take audio and just chuck it into Simpler and just chop it. I know FL has SliceX or Fruity Slicer, but this is the same, but I get a bit more power. Because then I can repurpose, chuck an arpeggio. These are things I can do quickly in Ableton. Recontextualize the music. Especially for doing like down tempo stuff, could be so much fun. Set itself is a bit heavy, so I would EQ it just to make it a bit lighter. Lots of fun though, repurposing these recordings. So if I re-record this, just to record this jam. from this, I should say. To this. Oh, that's nice. And then because I put it in here, I can use the other benefits of the software. See how that sounds. See my legs. See that recording, yeah. So I can still use it, but yeah, the fact that I don't get to record the MIDI information just in case I mess something up, I kind of have to do it again. Seems like a bad thing, but I like that. I like the commitment aspect, and it is what it is. You know, you capture something in that time. It's what music's all about. You know what I mean? Sometimes with the power of unlimited undo, that's good, but also not good in some ways. You can pros and cons anything, can't you? So I don't. I like this aspect of having something that's kind of like limited to what it is. But as you can see, that little rigmarole we had to go through to set things up, it's a thing, but it's not that bad really. If the bells and whistles don't work as advertised, there's always the basics being your MIDI cable, your audio cables. That's why I like to suggest, if you look into hardware, get yourself, let me just unshare my screen. Get yourself, oh, there we go. Get yourself some jacks. Mono jacks is fine. Very seldom do you need audio jacks. Very seldom. You only need mono jacks. Did I say stereo? Did I say stereo? I can't remember. Basically, TRS is good for speakers, not so good for synths. Mono jacks is fine for synths. The other thing that you should have, at least I say, if you want to get into hardware, is a couple of MIDI, 5-pin MIDI cables per instrument. So 2 per instrument, because ideally you want in and out. Because yeah, oh, that's why I couldn't record the MIDI information. I was stupid, sorry, because I was like, I thought the Roland Boutique did, but then I just remembered you need MIDI out as well. So silly me. The answer is depends on your instrument, which is still true, but you also need an extra cable. I only got one of these in the studio, so because I don't use hardware anymore. But yeah, MIDI 5-pin. Yeah, for in to send note information from Ableton. So when you're jamming your MIDI keyboard to send to the hardware, you need in, and you need out if you want to send automation data as well to and from the device. But even then, depends on the device. Okay. So besides that connective aspect, playing hardware is a lot of fun. Can it make unique sounds? Not necessarily. That's case by case. I can still live without the SH01. I did pick it because I like the sound of it, but let's just for fun, I'll show you a software equivalent, and that's where we'll leave it for today. Oops. Any questions in the meantime before I do this? If you don't have any questions, my question to you is, do you think this makes you want to try hardware more or less? Because, yeah, it's not for everyone, I must say. For some people, it's like, oh, yeah, but, you know, it doesn't excite me anymore. Maybe I'm spoiled. I don't know. Where? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you get sick of that, look, it's again, that's not for everyone either. The fully software thing. Um, I always wonder if I will make certain things with hardware, and I think I would make certain specific things with hardware, but it's just that I'm just quite happy making stuff in the box and making a lot of it. I think if it wasn't for that, then maybe I'd find different avenues. Basically, you find every avenue you can to make music. And if hardware is the way to help you make that, then you do it. If you make a lot on the computer already and there's no problems, then that's fine. You find your own way. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's only the ways that make sense to you. Does that make sense? Um, and personally, I find the MPC platform and the machine platform fantastic, but I don't know if uh, I would rely solely on that kind of source to make music, because I think it's a great performance tool for purely software music creation. Then I think on in some aspects it will be quicker, but in a lot of aspects it'd be slower. You might be wondering what I'm doing. I'm trying to find my this mono synth that I had. This essentially the copy to a software version of the SH101. Where SH101? Because it'd be fascinating to compare. Mono one it's called. It'd be fascinating to compare between hardware and software, don't you think? Then you can see for yourself. And I know this hardware is not the true sense, but hey, it's very seldom you see a live example of hardware software comparison, I think. Mono. I thought I bought it. I thought I did. Oh no, I did. Just got it downloaded off the cloud. 1 second. Should only take a minute to download this. But yes, hardware, fun. Most of the time, software is trying to emulate the hardware. Yes, and no, because things like Serum does not follow that rules. Pigments does not follow that rule. Omnisphere does not really, even though it implements some hardware sounds. Like some devices are just completely free from limitations. And this day and age, there's plugins that are changing the game a bit. For example, if I show you, where is it? If I show you, oh, you're not looking at my screen anymore, actually. So let me actually. All right, all good, man. Sounds to me by Sunday, yeah. Okay, see ya. Bye bye. So companies like Dawson, they're kind of changing the game a bit because they're offering different kind of synthesis that you can't get in hardware at all. So, for example, Myth is something I played with a little bit. It's quite expensive, but it's completely unique in the world of synthesis where you have you put samples into it, sampled anything, and it really re-synthesizes the sound into different tones. So it's not sampling; it's actually re-synthesizing, which is a newer aspect of sound design. I don't want to talk about it too much because it is fresh, but that's where we're heading. We're heading into fascinating ways to mess up audio, to change things up and do cool things. But yeah, it's very powerful, is what I'm saying. Let me download this. Make sure that works. It's only 2 megabytes. Any of you, Rose or Kieran, are you interested in trying out the hardware at TAFE at all? Does that sound like something you wanna do? That's the thing. It's not officially bookable yet. So pretty much the only way to kind of get into it is to come see me. So basically when I'm free, right? Uh, oh, you mean like for now? It ends in 2 weeks. Yeah. Well, no. After that, we go on a holiday. So maybe the next semester we can tee something up, Kieran. Yeah. Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, so here's the software equivalent. I'll just quickly show you with the remaining time we have. I'll set it up as close to what I had in hardware. Let's put on the same tempo. This instrument's only mono. So the hardware version, the original hardware, not the one I just showed you, but the original hardware is only monophonic. Whereas this boutique new version is polyphonic, has a polyphonic mode. So I can't actually do chords, which is hilarious, right? But that's okay. I'll just get rid of the chords. No big problem. Emotion as the chords, doesn't it? But hey, it's pretty cool. It's pretty close. Hey, what's that? So I'm playing a software synth, and this is the an emulation of the synth I showed you, except for the fact that it's more closer to the emulation. It's emulates the original, which was only monophonic. So it sounds pretty close, if you ask me. It's not that far off. It's just that it'd be nice if they made this one polyphonic as well, but we can't have everything. Because the guy who made this Maxwell Live patch, he wanted to do an authentic recreation of the original 101, and he painfully analyzed every circuit and did a very good job of the original. But that's why I don't keep this. This is I like it, but monophonic synth, you know, it's cool, but you know, it's not as useful for me. Sounds good though. It sounds very analog. Has that same kind of screaming lasery filter. Yeah, very nice. And to be honest, this is because there's a lot of SH101 emulations out there, but why I tried this one is because this is the first time I heard the filter being so close. This one actually is very authentic, so they did a really good job, to be fair. Anyway, all right, that's it. Both of you present, or was it just one of you? Rose left as well. Yeah, please get those sounds to me and the report by Sunday, okay? All right, no worries. See you, Kieran. Bye, bye, bye.